Alright guys, it has been over 6 years now since I made my first tutorial, and this deep house sample pack I've had in the pipeline for a little while. I just wanted to make sure that I was giving you guys the absolute best quality that I could possibly give you. So this sample pack is available for you guys and for the public, but you get a little special 80% discount, so you only pay 20% of the already discounted price on this pack. I do unfortunately have to ask you guys for just a little bit to cover some of the time it took to make this sample pack, because I went through a lot of projects and took out just the best parts so your guys' tracks can just become better and better. Now this is with my buddy from Poland. He's a fantastic producer. He hasn't released anything quite yet, but he is phenomenal as a sound engineer and a producer. And he's created a website called pandaloops.com in which he does track remakes and sample packs. And I asked him if I could put up one of my own and help you guys out. So head through to the links at the bottom and you can go ahead and make sure you bring that discount code, and you can walk away with 200 samples that are taken from my best productions for a fraction of the cost, and that would be amazing. And please do go and check out some of the other bits and pieces that Marcek has on his website, because there are some absolute gold mines in there, so go and check that out. Let's have a little breakdown of the sample pack so you have an idea of what you're getting. Basically what you heard is everything used from the sample pack minus the boo bass. That's the only thing that I don't have in the pack is basses. So if we go into the pack here, it's called Delicacy. Under the drum section we've got a bunch of claps and snares, mostly claps and a couple of clap snare combos. And they've been used in some of my own tracks, and I just love them, so I made sure to pick only the best claps from all of my projects that I have over the last 2 to 3 years. Under the fills section we've got some pretty cool glitchy fills, and I've used these to really accentuate the energy before drops. Got some nice crisp hi-hats, again taken from only the best samples that I found from my previous tracks, and then a bunch of kicks. Only the last few I actually created from scratch in the last few days, but the rest of them are all taken from unfinished projects or released tracks or unreleased tracks, so they're all really, really good clean kicks. On to the next section, which is the effects, and in here you'll find your crashes, and the next section you will find downlifters, so there's quite a big range in here. You've got your really chill downlifters at the start and your more aggressive ones toward the end. And there's a bit of difference in movement in there, so there's some pretty cool things, but they're basically just taken from my track. So they were more or less purpose built for that track, but you can pitch and move them to suit you perfectly. The reverse gets a little exciting. So I've got some cool glitchy LFO type reverses in there. There's also some flat reverses in there too. And then we go on to our uplifters. I've got one in here as well, so you get an idea of what they sound like, just to really give you that extra energy for your builds. Now some of these samples do have tails on them, so you can cut and make sure you have the declicking mode selected as transient and bleeding, and then you can just cut these samples so that they finish right as the kicks come in, and it sounds just like this. So that's pretty handy. And then finally we have got the loops. You might find the hi-hat loops in the drum section, or second to last actually, but the hi-hat loops will likely be in the drum section, and they're just some of the favorite hi-hats loops that I created over the time of all of the tracks that I've made as well. And there is some pretty weird stuff in there, but also some really cool glitchy ones. So see what you can do with those loops. I really enjoyed getting those exported and making sure they were timed for you. Just note that all of the samples run at 120 BPM. And then finally, for the loops section, these pianos are chords that I really loved, but I could never actually finish the song. So I was really bothered because I was like, what do I do with these? And then when the idea of the sample pack came around, light bulb went off. definitely have to use it for that. So you get some really cool piano loops here. And of course the one that we used in the tutorial as well. So they're pretty exciting, and they're all running at 120 BPM as well. And even some really dramatic pianos that I loved, but I could never find the right way to finish it. So that's up to you guys. So they're pretty cool. So have a look through that section as well. And last but not least, the vocal cuts. You probably know over the time of my tutorials that I have delved deep into the vocal cuts for some of my previous releases. And there are some really cool vocal cuts in here, and you can drag them in and program them the way that you like to create some pretty cool melodies. For example, this one here. So they're pretty much just programmed as per normal as any of the notes would, so they just go up. And then all you need to do is go to the envelope section, max out your hold, turn everything else down except for the release, keep that a little bit there, and then add effects and whatever you prefer to fit that into your mix. So that makes up the sample pack. There is 200 samples in total, and I'm sure you guys are going to love them, and I'm really proud of the pack, but I just have to ask for just a little fraction to cover the cost and time that it took to make this sample pack. And you bet the next tutorial will be coming up in a few weeks, and I'm going to go over the Dinoro and Vise type beat, which is the really catchy main stage type sound that's pretty popular at the moment, but also very commercial. Labels like Lithuania HQ, which Tom Budin and Lucky Luke have released Milk and Honey. I was the vocalist on that song, and I was really excited that we hit a million streams after about 5 weeks, or just under 5 weeks, something like that. But yeah, it's amazing. So thank you guys for all the support over the last coming up 6.5 years. And don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep posting tutorials. So thank you for all your support, and I will catch you next time. Peace.